on. Wintry weather leaves Acadiana coated in ice. Highways are closed after they prove to be dangerous.
Right now is the most dangerous time that you can actually go out.
And among the freeze, stories of neighbors helping neighbors as others brave the temps to help keep Acadiana safe. Full coverage of this winter storm right now on TV3.
Live from the KATC TV3 studios, this is Acadiana's News Channel at 10.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. We'll get to our weather coverage in just a moment, but first, two other stories happening right now in Acadiana.
First up, firefighters are still in the scene of a house fire in Breaux Bridge. They tell us the fire broke out tonight at a home in the Lakes on the Tesh subdivision off of Reese Street. You're looking at a live shot there. We are told the home was destroyed, but luckily no one was injured.
Opelousas police, meantime, are right now questioning a person of interest in a fatal shooting. This all happened at around 8 o'clock tonight on Caddo Street. Police say 41-year-old Robbie White of Opelousas was shot and killed, and police do not have a motive yet at this point.
Moving on now to our winter storm coverage. Acadiana has been below freezing for the past over 12 hours. Very easy over 12 hours.
It's freezing out there. Let's just say that. Well, this after a day of wintry weather as well. Rob's been tracking all of it from the weather lab. And Rob, it could still be a few hours before we thaw out.
Yeah, and it's going to be a limited thaw tomorrow at best. Now, as we look at the radar satellite composite, the precipitation has pretty much come to an end, and just maybe a little lingering light precip down in St. Mary Parish. But a lot of this is not reaching the ground as drier air has overtaken much of Acadiana after a quarter to half-inch icing in many spots across the area. More to the north. We'll talk more about that in our main weathercast. 27 degrees right now, which is actually up a degree or two over the last several hours. Very cold, though. Wind chill at 17, and temperatures stay in the deep freeze through tomorrow morning. So roadways remain hazardous overnight tonight through tomorrow morning. We do think we're going to see a little sun tomorrow afternoon, but limited time for melting tomorrow as temperatures barely get above the freezing mark tomorrow afternoon, and by this time tomorrow evening back below freezing once again. Temperatures tonight lower 20s, tomorrow mid 30s, maybe upper 30s, the best we can hope for. Milder weather on the way. We'll talk more about that and have a storm summary coming up in just a bit.
All right, Rob, thanks. Well, in the last few hours, state troopers have closed several major roadways. I-10 in Lafayette is closed in both directions. It's also closed westbound between Rain and Crowley. All Highway 90 overpasses throughout Iberia and St. Mary parishes are closed to traffic, and US 190 is closed east of Eunice in both directions.
You know, throughout the night, temperatures are not going to get above freezing, so that morning concern also exists. We don't want people waking up and just going and getting out on the roadway. Make sure that you stay informed as to what's going on before you travel.
As most of us hopefully get a good night's sleep warm in our beds, some will be working throughout the night outside in the freezing cold, trying to keep major roadways open. Stephen Albritton reports tonight on who is out there braving the temps to keep us safe.
With each scoop of the shovel, the National Guard and DOTD work together to keep roadways safe, while fighting the bitter cold well into the night.
Some of our sister units up in the north have had to do this, but this far south, this is very different from us.
By hand, these Guard members have spread more than 15,000 pounds of salt, focusing on bridges. But as these soldiers help us, they are leaving their own lives behind at the same time. Specialist Joseph Davey has only managed a few hours of sleep after working more than 10 hours Monday and then immediately being called in.
We do this because we enjoy doing this. We enjoy helping the public. If we don't do it, nobody's going to do it.
Usually deployed for assistance with a tropical disturbance, this blast of winter weather is a whole new ballgame.
It's interesting, actually, just to see how the general population down here responds to icy weather. It's interesting. That's all I can say about it.
But the cold isn't stopping them from completing their mission. One scoop at a time.
If you don't have to be on the road, I know Rob has said it before, if you don't have to be on the road, stay home.
In Lafayette, Stephen Albritton, KATC TV3.
And curfews are still going into effect around Acadiana at this hour. Jennings police began enforcing a citywide curfew just minutes ago at 10 o'clock. This curfew is in place until 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Kaplan's curfew is also in effect until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Now, curfews in Acadia and St. Martin parishes started at 6 and last until 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. St. Landry, Iberia, and Evangeline parishes are all under curfew now and will last until 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Evangeline announced the extra day after getting the majority of Acadiana's snow today.
And even without the curfews, much of Acadiana is a frigid ghost town.
Absolutely. As our Aaron Stuber reports, it seems a lot of people followed the warnings and just stayed at home today. She hit the deserted streets of Lafayette.
Old Man Winter was no stranger to Acadiana Tuesday. With ice raining down on Lafayette for most of the day, roads typically packed with traffic hardly had a car on them. Entire shopping centers were nothing but an empty parking lot. Businesses of all types closing their doors and keeping their employees home. Even those who braved the weather last week didn't open their doors. And those businesses who did chose to close early.
The safety of our employees and customers as well is more important than dollars.
But the few drivers out on the road saw no problem with all of Acadiana shutting down.
No, I prefer everything closed.
Well, in weather like this, you don't want them out there on the road. I'm not worried about the road, I'm worried about the people on the road.
In Lafayette, Aaron Stuber, KATC TV3.
Well, we now turn from a ghost town to a winter wonderland. Evangeline Parish saw 1 to 2 inches of snow and ice in today's storm. Our Alex Labat bundled up and headed out there to complete our team coverage.
The only thing on the roads heading into Chautauqua was ice. Residents either flew the coop or stayed cooped up indoors, except for the V-Dreams.
When we really saw the snow falling, we went outside and we hooked up a floating raft that goes in the pool behind our four-wheel, and we made it into a sled.
Now the V-Dreams say that this happens so few times in Louisiana that you have no excuse not to go outside and enjoy being a kid. Yeah, come on!
The kid came out in us, and we really got back to playing outside and doing things that we don't get to do but once every 20 years.
Everyone at the V-Dreams was outside enjoying the snow with their coats, both bought and grown, because who knows, the next time Old Man Winter passes through Chautauqua.
It's kind of just cools off where you can throw on a long sleeve t-shirt, but this year, you know, you've noticeably had to wear jackets and boots and get to bundle up and stay home for 5 extra days.
In Evangeline Parish, I'm Alex Labat for KATC TV3.
We promise you it wasn't all fun for Alex. He did work hard today. Moving now to Acadia Parish, St. Joseph Baptist Church opened its doors to help warm up those in need of a warm meal. The church partnered with other churches in the community to help serve over 100 people in Crowley and beyond.
You know, that's what it's all about, helping one another, and I really think I'm so appreciative to all of the men and the women who have who've come out to do this.
A reminder about school closures. All public and Catholic schools in Acadiana are closed tomorrow, and that does include school board offices as well. Then it comes down to higher ed. UL will be closed tomorrow. Earlier, the university planned to open, but administrators changed their minds. LSUE will also be closed tomorrow, as will SLCC. Also, all campuses of South Central Louisiana Technical College will be closed tomorrow. And in terms of state offices, you can find a list of local, government, and municipal closures over on our website, KATC.com, as well as any other information you may be looking for on closures throughout Acadiana and the state.